31 coming at you right now.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
This is Game Chat 1, episode 31. Game Chat 1, episode 31 coming at you live. Today is September 26, 2011, and we are here at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana, at live.bwana.tv and twitch.tv/Bwana, and live.bwana.tv and twitch.tv/Bwana. We are here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we talk about the latest days of latest we talk about the latest gaming news for the past 7 days. And for the past 7 days, there's been a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to consolidate that stuff into one gargantuan podcast called Game Chat with Bwana, because that's what we do here at live.bwana.tv and twitch.tv/Bwana, live.bwana.tv, twitch.tv. And what we do is we talk about those stories, and then towards the end, you guys submit your stories over at bwana.tv/forum, because that's where we do stuff. Bwana.tv/forum, that's where you guys go and talk about things and stuff, and then you post those things and hit post, and then I read them and then I smile, and then I go, hey, that's probably something I want to talk about on Game Chat with Bwana episode X. So that's the format here at Game Chat with Bwana. That's how we do things. This is episode 31. We have been here for an entire, I don't know, some long term, for an entire millennia. For decades, we have been here at Game Chat with Bwana, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Guys, it is gaming season. It is like October coming up, and I was just like, there's just not enough hours in the day for all the games that are coming out. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Lots of time-consuming things approaching. So those of you who are in the workforce like I am, or go to school like some of you do, you might want to reprioritize some things. Don't let the gaming Grinch get you. Don't let it get you down, because it can suck all of your time away. So let's go ahead and get started with Game Chat 1, episode 31. That's how we do it. That's all we're going to do right here, boy. So our first story that we're going to talk about with Game Chat with is id Software. Now, I've been playing id games since Doom. Since Wolfenstein. And I still don't know how to pronounce their company name. Is it id Software? Is it ID Software? Is it Yodi Software? Anyway, id. Let me hide my bookmark bar because it's in the way. id Software has shocked the world. Now, Gran Turismo came out on the PS3, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, it's going to require a 17,000 terabyte install. Why in the world would you buy a game that will require a 17,000 terabyte install? Why bother sending us the disc? Well, ID Software, or id Software, or id Software is going to be doing something that rivals that. On the PS3, it's going to require an 8 gigabyte install. And but if you think this is bad, check this out. On the 360, it's going to ship on, I believe, 3 discs. And if you want to install it to hard drive, 22 gigabytes. Do you remember when the Xbox 360 hard drive shipped with a 20 gigabyte hard drive? My Xbox 360 still has a 20 gigabyte hard drive. So, wow. But there are some cool things that come out of this. Because they have revealed something that, as a PC gamer, I'm a little bit perturbed about. But your PS3 and 360 users may be getting this. They're going to be doing a lot of high-resolution textures. And what they've said in this article here is that they were happy that Sony allowed them to maximize the disk space because they normally don't allow that. And what he said in here, I'm trying to find a quote. It might have been another article, but they're going to pack in all these high resolution textures onto the disk, and they're going to use the PS3's SPU cores to manage, decompressing those textures. So what's going to happen is that you're going to have a bunch of high-res textures, and you're not going to have a lot of blurriness, and you're going to be able to get a very good experience. Now, if you've all seen the Tokyo Game Show footage of the PS3 gameplay of Rage, you can probably see why, because it looked really, really smooth. I was very impressed that was PS3 footage they showed. So hopefully the same thing's going to happen on the 360. We're going to hope that they did the same type of thing there. Now, the thing that kind of perturbs me is that they're going to release this as a super texture pack on the PC after launch. Just what? And I'm a little bit perturbed by that, because id Software, along with DICE, is one of those developers that PC gamers look up to as being, one of those PC first type of development shops. Up there with Valve as well. And it kind of, I'm like, I went like middle school on them. I'm like, well, why does the PS3 and the 360 get the texture packs and we don't? I want the texture packs on the PC. Why can't I have... I went like 13, 14-year-old sad face when I read that. So there's a good and bad to all of this. id Software is really, doing some good stuff on the consoles. Carmack has gone on record to say how good consoles are. I bashed them a few times because I was like, you don't know what you talk about. But the, man, I really wish they would release this online. I don't understand why it's delayed. It kind of reminds me of the Crysis 2 DirectX support, tessellation support. Does it really take that much longer to do this? I don't know. Check it out, guys. This is over on PlayStationLifestyle.net. It's all over the web as well. Just search for Rage Giant Install. You'll find a lot of articles about it. But this game is looking very good. All jokes aside, all shenanigans aside, this game is looking very solid. I have pre-ordered Rage, and I'm looking forward to it. It's coming out in like less than a week, I think. I think it's like a little bit over a week now. It'll be coming out. Like I told you guys, man, it's going to be like a lot of good games coming out very, very shortly. October is just going to be crazy good. All right, guys, check it out. It's over on PlayStationLifestyle.net. Net. I meant to say net. Check it out. Now, Homefront. Let's talk about a little bit about the Homefront. Homefront. This game came out and got a lot of bad reviews, and a lot of people were very upset because the single-player campaign was hyped to be so good, and, a lot of people were impressed by what they saw. And then it was like, bleh. Came out, it was very lackluster. People just shot it into the ground. And I was defending the game because I didn't even buy it for the single-player. As a matter of fact, I never even played the single-player. I jumped right into the multiplayer, and I was like, this game is pretty fun, yeah? And we played a lot of hours, and I still play it today when I can get on a server, because there's not a lot of servers out there. It's like the community is really, really dying. It's a good, fun multiplayer game. But the single player was very lackluster, according to reviews and according to people that I've talked to. So I was very happy to see that THQ is going to be joining forces with Crytek to produce a Homefront sequel. Now, arguably, the Crysis 2 game had a lackluster multiplayer and a very good single player. So when you think about it, you got your Oreo cookie, you got your Oreo center, and you put them together, and you got a very tasty cookie there, boy. So hopefully by these two studios joining forces, they'll produce the Homefront that everybody hoped that the first one would be. Because apparently the game, according to this article, the game sold well enough in the first couple of weeks to warrant a sequel. So even though it got poor reviews, people were like, oh my goodness, what did I just buy? it made enough to warrant a sequel. But they're going to bring in Crytek. Hopefully use the Cry engine. Not sure if they're going to use Cry engine or that stuff that's Homefront using. I hope they use Cry engine because the Homefront, at least on the PC, whatever they're using, I don't know if it's Unreal variant or something or some proprietary engine they're using. I forgot that Chaos was using, but it's not efficient at all. It suffers on high-end PCs. So hopefully the Cry engine will be able to bring some life into this Homefront. I'm hoping it does well because the single player tanked and the multiplayer to me was very, very fun. A lot of stuff you guys are going to see in Modern Warfare 3, Homefront's already doing right now. A lot of the drone warfare you saw in Modern Warfare 3 and those clips, Homefront's doing right now. I mean, I'm telling you, that's what makes it really, really fun to me. All right, guys, check it out. This is over on multiplayerblog.mtv. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about that other game, that other shooter, that other, whatchamacallit, that, some of us are talking about. Some of us are talking about this game. Yeah, it's kind of under the radar. There may not be a lot of sales. And I'm joking so hard right now. This is Battlefield 3 beta. Battlefield 3 beta release date was released last week and it's coming out on the 29th for PS3, PC, and 360. That is this particular Thursday. But if you pre-ordered on Origin or if you bought the Medal of Honor game, you were promised the Battlefield beta access key. And you will be able to play tomorrow, 2 days early. So if you pre-ordered before the 25th, you can't do it now. If you pre-ordered before the 25th, you will be able to play this beta tomorrow. Now, this game is getting a lot of hype around it. NVIDIA and AMD even released special drivers just for this beta. You go to NVIDIA's page and AMD, they got a link on somewhere on the web. I actually saw it tweeted as well. Battlefield actually retweeted the one from AMD's card. They got beta drivers specifically designed to, enhance this beta. It's getting a lot of hype. You install the beta drivers, you see Battlefield screenshots, at least on the NVIDIA side. I'm like, man, they're going all out on this game. So it's a lot of hype behind it. I mean, today Battlefield released their Jay-Z television spot or ad just to put more hype behind it. And when they announced this, I believe that was like the day before the Gears of War 3 launch. So they were trying to kind of overshadow that hype a little bit when they announced this beta release. That was like 6 days ago. Actually, yeah, it was the 20th that they announced this. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be very busy for a lot of us. Trying to be productive and looking at a Battlefield 3 shortcut on our desktop. Yeah. And there's some other stories I'm going to talk about that's not going to help matters at all either. So check this out, guys. It's coming out tomorrow for pre-orders on Origin and for pre-orders on, if you bought Medal of Honor. And if you didn't buy it, or they're just going to open it up to everyone on the 29th. You don't even have to pre-order. It's going to be a totally open beta. Let me say that again. A totally open beta. You don't have to buy anything to get in this beta. You don't have to get a special key or anything. It's going to be totally open on the 29th for PC, PS3, and for Xbox 360. Check it out, guys. It's over on multiplayerblogmtv.com. They got the details.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at bwana.tv/forums.
Okay, so we're all happy about Battlefield 3, right? Everybody's all skedaddly smiling and jumping around and doing cartwheels in our head. But wait! The clause is you have to sign your life away to Origin. That's right, people. Origin, the folks over at EA were jealous of Darth Vader last week when he said, "I am altering the deal. Pray I alter it no further." With Sony. You guys remember that story last week? Game chat with Bwana. Well, EA is going to do the same thing. They have thrown a clause in their terms of service which states that you have to expressly waive the right to a trial by jury to participate in a class action. All disputes that cannot be straightened out through informal negotiations and finally exclusively resolved by binding arbitration. Now that doesn't make sense. They make it clear. You understand by this provision, you and EA are foregoing the right to sue in court and have a trial by jury. So yeah, guys. Yeah. EA's just, I read a comment on the site today. Somebody said they just really hate my money. You are foregoing the right to do it. So if they really mess up something, which they probably will. I mean, this is like a cover your butt type of clause. Like, uh-oh, we messed up. Oh, but wait, let's put a clause in the terms of service that says they can't sue us. Tee-hee-hee, we're covered. They just really hate my money. And they're making it really hard. I mean, seriously, guys, they're making it really, really difficult to sign up for the service. Man. But those of you who are going to play Battlefield 3, well, I'm going to say we because I'm playing Battlefield 3. We can't sue unless, this clause is taken out or reverted or something. I'm at a loss for words because it's so bold and so over the top that you kind of are a little bit of a shock that they're putting that in there. It's almost like you're taken back. You're like, it's like somebody making you sign a contract to say, when I come to town next week, you will donate all your blood to me. And you sign, you go, wait a minute, did you really just put that I will give you all of my blood? I need that to live. Why would I give you all of my blood? Because I'm a vampire. It's something like crazy like that. That when you look at these clauses, it's like so over the top. You're just like, what? But guys, we're going to be watching this one very closely, just like we're going to be watching the Sony one very closely, as these companies are just getting very, 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 very bold in these terms of service. And now, as a result, a lot of us who never read terms of services before, never read these documents, we're going through them with a fine-tooth comb because we're finding out some poisonous items in these things. I'm just a little shocked. But check it out, guys. This is over on escapistmagazine.com. They got the details about EA changing the terms of service to forbid class action lawsuits. Okay. The good news is that Star Wars The Old Republic is not going to be on Origin. So if you want to play that SWTOR game, which was just given a release date, yes it was, if you were going to play SWTOR, you don't have to worry about all of that Origin stuff. But you might want to take a look at their terms of service when they're released, because they might ask for your firstborn. Or they might require you to sever a limb. Who knows what these companies are going to ask for. But SWTOR, The Old Republic, Star Wars The Old Republic has been given a release date December 20th in North America and December 22nd in Europe. You guys will be getting and you'll be shooting first like Han Solo. Because Han did shoot first. Han shot first. And it's going to have the typical subscription fees of $15, €8.99, $13.99 for 3 months, and $12.99 for 6 month subscription. And like a lot of sites are saying, including myself, and I agree, this is probably going to be the last pay-to-play MMO to come out. I think everything after this is going to be free to play. So you're not going to be required to use Origin to play SWTOR. So it's going to be very good to see that. That you won't have to sign your life away. But those of you who've been eagerly anticipating this title, I know a lot of you pre-ordered it. A lot of people, and I got to go back and backtrack and find this story about them limiting the amount of sales, because I think they're still doing that. I think they're still limiting the amount of players that can play. They're going to actually run out of digital copies, which is kind of strange. So check this story out. This is over on Rock Paper Shotgun. It's all over the web as well. Big story last week. It's going to be very close to the holidays if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah. Some other days, some other holidays around that time of the year. It's going to be around that time of the year. So you might want to consider that. Over Rock Paper Shotgun, check it out. Now, in the department of the oh my goodness, I am just ridiculously disappointed department. I was very, very excited about Diablo 3, and I say was because I'm not anymore. What's happening and what people are finding out with the latest Diablo 3 beta that people are playing is that they're finding out some of the limitations of the controversial DRM. We talked about it here on Game Chat with Bwana. And Rock Paper Shotgun really did a great article as to what we should expect as an end user, as a paying end user, not a pirate, but a paying end user. And one of the things that they pointed out, a big thing that they pointed out, is that the game is different than what you would expect from Diablo. If any of you have ever played Torchlight, I have played a lot of Torchlight. You may be able to identify, because I know a lot of my viewers have never played Diablo, which shames me. Shames me. So if you played Torchlight, you may have an idea what I'm about to say. Basically the big thing of the matter is you can't pause the game. You can't pause Diablo 3. I don't know how many single-player games you guys have played. Especially these types of games. But it almost seems like, that clause in the Origin terms of service. You're like, what? What they're doing with Diablo 3 is that the infrastructure is set up very much like an MMORPG. They're setting it up in that regard. And what's happening is that you're constantly communicating with Battle.net. And if you're in the middle of playing and you need to stop and do something, you can't pause. You need to run to a safe spot and sit there. Just like in an MMO. Now, if you're in an MMO, you also have the option of logging out, which is what you'll have to do here as well. You'll have to log out of the game if you want to completely, stop the progress. And I don't know about you guys, but every Diablo I played, I soloed first. Every single one. Diablo 1, Diablo 2, I soloed it first. And then I went online. And it just really, I don't understand. And I'm going to read this paragraph from Rock Paper Shotgun, because they put it in great words here. They say, clearly the problem arises when something goes wrong. They're talking about when the network goes offline, because you have to be connected to Battle.net. Those of you who play StarCraft 2 know what we're talking about. Battle.net has a problem, the game disconnects or it freezes or something. So that's going to happen in Diablo as well. He says, clearly that problem only arises when something goes wrong, when there's server maintenance, when obviously there'll be a small proportion of the time, obviously. But a more striking and regular problem has shown itself over the last couple of days playing with the beta levels. You can't pause. In fact, most ways, the game acts like an MMO. For instance, quit it and you're given an optional cooldown to have your player clear the server properly. But it's not an MMO. It's not even close to an MMO. So when I'm playing the single player game and I'm in the middle of a frenzied mob and there's a knock on the front door, there's nothing I can do. As happened to me yesterday, twice. On another occasion, I was surprised by a phone call that led me having to do some other things. I safely left my character in a cleared area, but long between checkpoints, you hear that word, checkpoint, I came back to PC. I'd been idle for so long and the game had logged me out. I'd been logged out of the single player game because I was away for an hour and thus lost all of my progress, although not my items and stats, since the last checkpoint, a long, long way back. I hate the checkpoint system to begin with. I love quick saves, so that's another thing. In fact, currently losing your connection either by idling or the server goes down resets huge chunks of what you've already played. Since the map is blank, you need to battle through it again. So, these are the limitations, guys. These are the limitations when playing Diablo. I don't know if you guys know your history, but this game has a history of being single player. It's a single-player dungeon crawler, and then online was added later. It's like you play with friends. Co-op is if you can think of a co-op game, that's what Diablo was. So this is why I'm really, really not liking what I'm seeing from Diablo 3. I'm really not liking it because it's to me it's not really a feature of the game. It's a limitation of DRM. This is a classic case of DRM changing what a game is supposed to be. So, I don't understand why Blizzard is punishing us for this. I really don't. I don't think we should be, as paying customers, punish. You can't pause the game. It's laughable when you say that out loud. It's laughable when you say that out loud. You can't pause the game. Check it out, guys. This is over a rock paper shotgun. I'm gonna get off that little sandbox there, but it's really disappointing, and I'm just my excitement for Diablo is just dropped tremendously.
Please support Game Chat with Bwana by turning off your ad blocking software.
Okay. Remember I talked about October being an incredible month? Well, looks like those guys over at Riot surprised us. Those guys over on they just shocked us. We were like, oh boy, here we go. Riot said that League of Legends Dominion was not going to come out until a little bit after PAX. PAX was in August or so it's not going to release until August 2012. Ha ha ha. Riot is worse than Valve. Ha ha ha. Riot is never going to release Dominion. Ha ha ha. And they released it today. And they had an open beta for the past few days. And I gotta say, guys, it is fun. A lot of you MOBA purists out there may not like it, but frankly, a lot of us who are having fun don't care. It is pretty much a very fast-paced, high-action version of what was originally, if you played the first League of Legends, it started extremely slow. 15 minutes of farming before any kind of fun happens. If you gank level 1s, they're like, ha ha ha, and then you fall asleep. Last hit. Last hit. Last hit. Am I getting ganked? No. Last hit. Last hit. Last hit. Run. Oh, can I hit him? No. Last hit. Dominion is, there's no time for that. I think that 15 minutes has been kind of reduced to like seconds. It's like 45 seconds. You have 45 seconds of maybe thinking about what you want to do once the timer starts. And then the enemy's in your face, beating your face in, and then all of a sudden they're capturing points. It's a very good game mode. It's very small maps, 5-on-5, and it's using the capture the point, like domination type game mode. And they've added, I mean, you basically start at level 3, and they increase the amount of gold you get, and you know how quickly you level up. It's a lot faster paced game. They even got speed buffs on the game. They got health buffs you can pick up. So if you're looking to get in a quick 10 to 15 minute match, Dominion is the mode for you. So if you haven't tried League of Legends, now's a great time to try it, because a lot of complaints come from people who say that the games just last too long. And I agree. I mean, the 30 to 40 minute games minimum, you know, it's kind of it's a pretty good time sink. If you play 10 games a day, you can do the math. That's a lot of time. But Dominion aims to add quicker, faster matches, and I played in the beta. It was very fun, and I'm looking forward to playing this. And I don't have enough time in the day because Battlefield's coming out. Rage is coming out in less than... So many games. Check it out, guys. This is over on joystick.com. You can also go to leagueoflegends.com and check it out. If you guys are in League of Legends, add me. I believe my ID is Bwana TV. Bwana TV, I think. Yeah, Bwana TV, all one word. So add me in there. If I log in, you know, if you message me and say, hey, Bwana, want to play, and I don't reply, don't feel bad. I'm probably doing something else. So, yeah, but you can add me to your friends list. We do have a lot of community games. And what I did the other night, I just went down my friends list and was just inviting people to play Dominion. So if you're on my friends list, you have a chance to play pretty much all the time in Dominion. Check it out, guys. Joystick. Gotcha. Now, speaking of the MOBA genre, Valve has realized that Dota 2 needs to come out. And if you guys remember last week, there was a big giant leak of all the client's assets, and we saw that hats were in there. Dota 2 hats. Funny, Valve. You guys are funny. Defense of the Ancients 2. And Ice Frog has went on record to say they want to get this game out quickly. I don't know if this is because it's getting pretty good feedback, that people say, hey, it's stable enough to release, so release it, or maybe they're feeling the pressure from League of Legends Dominion, or you know, the Rise of the Immortals game is out now, so there's another MOBA genre game in there. We don't know, but we do know that they're trying to get it out quickly. Or I just made that word up. Quickly. Here's the quote. Let me find it. Here it is. Our original plan was to spend the next year or so in beta. A year in beta. This time next year, the beta would have been ending. If, you know, if we count from now. Our original plan was to spend the next year or so in beta, adding new features and slowly growing the number of heroes until we reach a level of parity with Dota 1, at which point we released Dota 2 to the world. But the feedback we're seeing everywhere is that people just want to play it. Even though there's still a ton of heroes yet to be implemented, we've also seen that the folks who already are in the beta are chomping at the bit to show everyone else some of the fun games they've had. So we've decided that our original plan was dumb. I love this guy. I don't even know him. Just, you could call something dumb, you're A-okay in my book. That plan was dumb. Enter plan B. We're going to take the current version of Dota 2 and get it out as fast as we can. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool that they're going to get this out. And we've already confirmed it's pretty much going to be free to play. So if a game releases with bugs at launch and is free to play, we tend to forgive those companies, don't we? You know you do. Game's free to play, it comes out with bugs, you're like, well, it is free to play. But this game said, well, I shouldn't be complaining. I didn't pay any money. But I should be mad, and I'm not, because it's free to play. Can't complain, it's free to play. Unlike freaking Rage, which is not going to release super textures until after launch, and you're going to be paying $60 for that. EscapistMagazine.com has the story, guys. Valve is going to be releasing Dota 2 very, very soon. Very, very happy to see this. Eager to play this game. Even though I played more League of Legends than I have of Han and the Dota type games, I am familiar with some of the mechanics of Dota. It has a lot more depth to it than League of Legends. Can be intimidating for new users, though. That's why League of Legends took off so much. Hopefully, Dota 2 will actually be friendlier to new users. Unlike Han. Han was not very friendly to new users. So check this out, guys. Escapist Magazine, they got the details. And our final story, one of those Minecraft guys out there, you just got way too much time. Way too much time. Some guy built a stop motion video of Tetris for Game Boy. If you watch this, it's kind of one of those moments where the rest of the world blacks out and you're engulfed into this little green screen and you actually think you're watching a giant Game Boy screen. That's how this is pretty well done for a stop motion video. And this is very, very cool. Let's see, the community, Minecraft A to Z, put this together. And they created entire screens out of blocks using stop motion animation. And If any of you, have any of you ever seen, if you watch a stop motion movie, just pick one, I don't know, Wallace and Gromit. Just pick a stop motion movie, get the DVD and watch the behind the scenes on how they do stop motion. And you see how long it takes to do like 5 seconds of footage. It's some time consuming stuff, man. Stop motion is not for the impatient. And these guys put this together. I know it took a lot of time. But this is in the category of we've got way too much time on our hands. And very, very well done, though. It's very immersive. The sound effects match up perfectly. It actually feels like you're playing. You're actually screaming at the guy going, "Why'd you do that? That was stupid. That was dumb. Why would you? No, don't put the line. No." You know, that's how engulfing it is. You forget it's Minecraft. You think it's actually a Tetris game. And that concludes all our stories for the night. So we're going to move on to our user submitted stories, and you guys are going to be able to tell me what you did over there and some stuff.
Game Chat with Bwana is recorded live before a worldwide audience every Monday night. You can participate by suggesting news stories. Just register an account in our forums at bwana.tv/forums.
All right, we're going to go to our forum to see what the user submitted stories are for the night. See what you guys have submitted. And if you do the topic in the chat, you'll see the link to what I'm looking at right now. All right. So, we're going to go to the first story. This is Guy 1990. Man, it's hard to say. Guy 19,900. Let's see. Free gifts wrongly banned Xbox Live users. Oh, you got a little quote here for the Rage article? Yeah, you don't have to install it for the 360. I didn't mention that. Thanks for pointing that out. 360 is an optional install. You can go back if you want to, but you'll need this. Okay, all right. I didn't mention that, but thanks for pointing that out. But free gifts wrongly banned for Xbox Live users. So, let's see. Recent crackdown on modded consoles snarred. Very small percentage of Xbox Live users who had done nothing wrong. Now, I was perusing some Twitch.tv streams, and I heard about a lot of people getting banned wrongly on Xbox Live, and I guess they were caught up in this. Comprehensive bans from Microsoft. Nonetheless, Xbox Live top cop today apologized for the mistake and said these gamers would be reinstated immediately. Wow. Those who were wrongly banned will get 3 months free. There you go. See, Microsoft's good on it. They're good at this. Those who were wrongfully banned will get 3 months of free Xbox Live Gold and 1,600 Microsoft points. All of this will be applied automatically. You could pick at Microsoft all you want. These guys know how to do damage control. I'm telling you what. For a company that had all those consoles red ring, and then all their customers flocked back to buy new ones after the old one died, they gotta be doing something right. These guys know how to do damage control, man. I'm telling you, all the stuff they did wrong, their reaction has almost every time has been perfect. Every time has always been perfect. But here's another case. They wrongfully banned some people, which is, terrible. But now these guys got 1,600 points and 3 free months, and they're like, I love Microsoft. Ban me again, no, Microsoft. Please. They're welcoming the SmackDown. So I got to give Microsoft props for that. You can't overlook that. That is some great damage control. Great article, guys. Thanks for that guy. 19,900. And Rajyami says that Diablo 3 was been pushed to 2012. Oh, a lot of us were hoping it was coming this year. Blizzard confirms the new date will release in early 2012. That equals March, for those of you who don't know, or late February. Almost every time a company says early year, it's either late February or early March. It never fails. It says, so every game we make, the temptation is always very strong to launch as early as possible, soon as possible. However, we didn't put so many years of work into Diablo 3 to release a game that's almost ready. They will extend the Diablo 3 beta. They claim that the beta test is going very well. Yeah. Releasing a little bit later. Now, normally I would definitely applaud the company for pushing the release date back, especially if it has to do with making the game more stable. And a lot of companies rush games out, as we've seen with other, I've gone on soapboxes about these companies who rush games and release the fixes as DLC. It's really, really bad. But when a company preemptively does it and, says, okay, the game's just not ready. We want to release it, but we can't. I don't get too upset with them, even though I want to play the game. So I'm glad they're doing that. Valve is my favorite company when it comes to that. But Valve, they got this, we'll release it when it's ready policy, but they release it and it's not ready. Man, we just love to hate Valve. It's like, we'll release it when it's ready. Okay, it's released. It's not ready. Okay. Oh, man. All right. Next story. Oh, thanks for that, Rajyami, for that article. Diablo 3 pushed to 2012. I actually didn't read about that. Didn't know that. Okay. Michael McAllister. 28% of 3DS players say 3D detracts from gameplay. Almost 30% say that the 3D feature actually detracts, which is probably acceptable by Nintendo. That's almost the 80-20 rule. Since it is an optional feature on the device, I think that might be, it might be acceptable. Interpret survey finds that only 22% of gamers believe handhelds multi-dimensional effect improves gameplay. Just 7% consider the handheld an ideal way. Wait a minute. So where's the gray area? If only 22 says it improves, if 29% agree, 28% disagree, are the other 60% meh? My math is wrong. Is the other 50% meh? Sounds like the other 50% is meh. I don't care about 3D. Uh, 56% of them describe their ideal 3D gaming experience as playing the 3D capable of the console, while 7%. I need charts and graphs. I need charts and graphs for this article. It seems like some good numbers, but I can't skim them very well. But interesting data nonetheless, even though it's surveys, and we take surveys with a grain of salt, it's interesting to talk about these things. But I guess the number that they're focusing on is that almost 30% thinks that it makes it worse, that it detracts. And that's almost acceptable until I read that only 30% think is actually good as well. So it's not really an 80-20 rule. It's more like a whatever rule. You guys have 3DSs? Do you like the 3D? I just don't care about 3D I just I don't care about 3D, and I'm not a big handheld gamer right now. You can blame the phones for that. Yeah. Okay, check it out. Thanks for that. Uncharted 3 promotion puts early copies in gamers' hands. Just like freaking Gears of War, man. Everybody's getting it early. Movie theater chain AMC hosting events to try Naughty Dog's PS3 exclusive on the big screen. Get the game via FedEx a week before official launch. From October 18th through October 20th, AMC locations in San Francisco, Los Angeles. Man, y'all discriminate against Florida. San Francisco, Los Angeles, DC, New York, and Dallas will host Uncharted Play It First in 3D events that will let gamers do just that. I'm looking forward to this game. That's why I'm kind of perturbed that we're not going to get it in Florida. They don't love us in Florida. Maybe it's our Florida accents. When we start talking like Florida like this. All right, the portion of the event will cost $25 to attend, but gamers who pony up $60 for the Uncharted 3 Premium Pass will also have a copy of the game shipped. So if you pay $60 on top of the $25, you'll get it early, which is a good deal. It's a game that costs a game anyway. Oh, man. This game is looking good, guy. I'm a big fan of the Uncharted series. I am. I am. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. I played Uncharted. I finished Uncharted 2 probably about, I don't know, 10 times. Just couldn't get enough of it. Thanks, Michael, for the links. Okay. Kato's 14. The Elder Scrolls 5. Skyrim perks and racial skills revealed. Perks and racial skills. That guy has some serious eyebrows. I'm angry. My eyebrows will touch the sky and blot out the sun. The Elder Scrolls 5. Skyrim perks and racial skills revealed. Perk trees. Speech. Blah, 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 blah. Buying and selling 10% better. 10% buying from opposite sex. Master trader. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And alchemy. Poisons. Stronger. Illusion. Dual casting. Overcharges effect. More use for spell. Blah, 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 blah. Spells work on higher level people and so on and so forth. Conjuration. Blah, blah, blah. Destruction. Restoration. Alteration. Bwana Nation. Enchanting. Enchants are 20% stronger. Ranked. Enchanting armor 25%. Blah, 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 blah. Heavy armor. Increase armor rating 20%. 5 ranks. This is a lot of text. Holy traits. Lots to consider here, folks. That's a lot of stuff. But if you guys are getting ready for Skyrim, you can plan out your character. Get your character ready for Skyrim, which is coming out very, 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 very soon. Very, very soon. Very soon. Everybody's looking forward to it. Thanks for the link, Kados. Next link is PC outperforms 360, PS3 by 900%, claims NVIDIA. They actually put a number to this. I mean, this is one of those dumb moments. NVIDIA claims that the recent presentation that PCs with one firm's top-line graphics cards make the platform 900% more powerful. Why did they put a number on it? They went with the GTX 580, which says that's actually 2 cards in one, basically. Very, very expensive card. It better be 900% better. PC 10x more powerful than consoles. Doesn't AMD ATI kind of... What? I know the 360 has an ATI chipset. I don't know about the PS3. I forgot. This may be their way of combating that market. See, charts and graphs make things so much better. I don't have to think about 83, 28%. I've got pretty charts and graphs. I am happy. But I think this may be just to combat the AMD ATI mobile market, or the, not the mobile market, but the console market that they have. Oh, it's an NVIDIA RSX and the PS3? I'll shut up. That was wrong. That was wrong. Okay. Thanks for that link. Dota 2 released as fast as we can. Kind of talked about that already. Gears of War 3 sells more than 3 million copies in first week. Good link here. Oh no. Not an ad. Rage. Pre-order now. 10/4/11. Uh-oh, I think a video's coming. Skip it. Thank you. Gears of War 3 sells more than 3 million copies in the first week. Man, you 360 gamers were hungry. Now, okay, I talk about the 360 all the time, but you guys got to admit, this year's been kind of dry for the 360. I mean, it's been kind of dry. Kind of dry. And Gears of War 3 is going to be the first really big title, next to Modern Warfare, of course. But this year's been kind of dry. And I think this title right here, Gears of War 3, every 360 user I've talked to, not every, but most of them, really, they were highly anticipating this one. And I got to say, guys, from what I've seen from Gears of War 3, I've saw a lot of footage on Twitch.tv. It looks very polished. I didn't like Gears. I bought Gears of War 1, played the campaign, thought it was good. But I hated the multiplayer because I was always in a lag match. Always laggy. So I opted not to buy Gears of War 2. Some people told me that the lag was better in Gears of War 2. Some people told me it wasn't. But Gears of War 3, based on the footage I'm seeing from people, it looks to have solved all my qualms with Gears of War. I'm still not going to buy it. There's some other reasons. But I enjoy watching people play it. It's going to be big on the esports scene. MLG's definitely, they're going to pick it up. I mean, MLG had this giant pre-stream. It was like the night before launch, and they had a lot of the pro players. They had our own Cream and Ulite from Twitch.tv there. They flew in with the San. I don't know if they flew in. I don't know if they were there locally or what. But they were there showing us the ropes, basically poning each other. But this game looks really, really good. Very polished. I wish somebody would stream the campaign. I'm really interested to see the campaign because I enjoyed Gears of War's campaign, the first one. So I'm eager to see what Gears of War 3 does in that regard. The co-op looks solid, and it's definitely going to be a success. 3 million right out the gate. This one's going to be contender for Game of the Year. I'm calling it now. Gears of War 3 is going to be a contender for Game of the Year. You guys already know my vote. I talk about it all the time. I'm voting for Deus Ex 20 times over for Game of the Year. But even though Battlefield 3 is not out, I know. But Deus Ex really, really impressed me in so many ways. But Gears of War 3 is going to be on that list. I guarantee it. It's going to be on that Game of the Year list. All right. Thanks for that link, Kados. Now we're going to go to Fish Twit. What the deuce, X? Okay, indie dev defends tax incentives for video game developers. Oh, cool. OneUp.com. Sword and Sorcery developer Cappy addresses the subject of tax breaks for game developers. This is an interesting topic. I have never seen this discussed. We often hear brief mentions of the tax benefits granted to video game developers in Canada. That's probably why I never hear about it. A recent New York Times report on tax breaks for video game developers prompted a decidedly negative piece on the subject from Canadian publication Maclean's. This in turn led to a fairly in-depth piece from Cappy's Nathan Vella explaining why these tax breaks are handed out. I don't want to read this to you guys entirely. It sounds like an interesting article, though. The second much-needed clarification is that whenever tax issue arises, everyone is quick to point to Ubisoft Toronto as some sort of tax vacuum lightning rod. They get $250 million. Whoa! That's some huge tax breaks, man. They tend to ignore the part where Ubisoft, in turn, is committed to investing $500 million in the same time period. So apparently the tax breaks are warranted. This is an interesting article. I'm going to read the rest of it later, but very interesting topic of tax incentives for developers. Some of you guys may be too young to care about taxes, but a lot of these companies get some huge tax breaks, and I never hear about video game companies in that conversation. All right. Thanks for the article, Fish Twit. I will definitely come back to that one. Microsoft allowing a small number of mistakenly bans. Oh, yeah. This one's already been covered. I think we covered that one in the previous one. Okay. But thanks for the link anyway, Fish Twit. Sarams. What is a tax? All of the in-game books of The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion bound into a real-life... Whoa. All right. For those of you who are really into Oblivion, this looks like the ultimate collectible. I think these guys were talking about this on Mumble. He took the books from the game, and it looks like really, really high quality. Wow. 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 Very, very well done. This is going to fall into the category of way too much time on your hands. But, whoa. Let me see. Did they say Reddit user, not a doctor either, has done some amazing. In Oblivion, the game world, did it say how long it took him to do it? Printing out the collection of books and binding them in a letter, providing instructions in the printable books and do-it-yourselfers. Not a doctor either has solved the in-game problem. Too many books. It's too little space, but in real life. Now a little effort, a lot of paper, a bunch of ink. Hope you use HP printers. Players can proudly display their Elder Scrolls geekery in prominent spots. Doesn't say how long it took them. Very, very well done, though. Very, very well done. Very well done. Thanks for that, Sarams. And Deus Ex DLC, I was just talking about them. Deus Ex DLC fixes boss fights. Well, at least this one. So the DLC is going to be coming out soon. The Missing Link. And I haven't finished this game yet, so I haven't got to this boss, I don't think. Let's see. Eurogame reports out. Change the DLC. Develop totally in-house. Oh, that's right. They outsourced the DLC fights to another company. I remember reading about that. And I think that's why a lot of people were complaining about them, that they weren't as good as they should have been. They said they're going to fix it. They're going to do it in-house. He says you can actually not kill the boss. You could do a non-lethal takedown on him. You can kill him from afar. You can even kill him without him seeing you. It's more of a bigger challenge than the standard boss fights that we have in many games. So what they're going to do is they're probably going to revamp. I mean, this is bought. This is bought. The DLC's bought. I mean, the DLC was bought when I played probably the third hour of Deus Ex Human Revolution. I said, this game is great. And I didn't even have to hear the announcement of DLC. I'm like, oh, it's bought. I'm a big fan of this series now. I wasn't in the past. I should have been. I regret that. But Human Revolution is a very well put together game. DLC is good as bought. I'm glad to hear that they're going to buy. I'm sorry, they're not going to buy, but they're going to fix the boss fights. Thanks for that, Sarams. Okay, id Software. Consoles give more death than they take away. Is this Carmack again? Bragging about consoles. Oh, this is Todd Hellensheed. Consoles, he says, have definitely stolen some thunders from the gaming's graphical side, but in exchange, modern games are now better than ever. Here's why. For us, there are even some things we do with ID Tech 5, which is the engine, that if we were to make the game for the PC, we would make some different technical decisions. For what exactly those are, that's a question of Carmack because I'm not the programmer. We obviously invest a significant amount of our engineering cycles working on the 360 and PS3. So if those were all devoted to the PC, then obviously there's a trade-off that takes place there. Where's the point? But at the same time, there's a give back the other way because everything we do in the game, the scope of the game, blah, 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 blah. So as much as the consoles may take away, I think they give back more in terms of what we're able to do to just build out the game. Lots of blah. Not a whole lot of meat in these quotes, yeah. Maybe I need to reread it. But this is kind of CEO speak. Yeah. I mean, they admit to putting a lot of cycles into. I don't know. I can't really grasp that. Thanks for the link anyway. Eberdell. Let me refresh before I go to Tech Niffin 723. Battlefield 3 beta system requirements. Yep. These came out. They're going to match the actual game as well. OS Vista is the minimum. Let's just jump right to the graphics card and processor. That's what everybody cares about. 2 gigahertz dual core. 2.4 gigahertz or Athlon X2 2.7. That's the minimum processor. Graphics card, DirectX 10 compatible with at least half a gig of RAM. Radeon 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000 series. And Radeon 37 or higher. Blah, 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 blah. GeForce 8, 9, 2, 300, 5, blah, 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 better. Recommended is quad-core CPU. DirectX 11 compatible card. GeForce GTX 560 or ATI Radeon 6950. And I myself just procured an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 560 Ti superclocked at 950. So I meet the recommended system requirements, but my CPU, I'm still going to overclock it so that I can stream Battlefield at a very, very good, with all the things enabled. Because right now I can play anything. I feel very confident in my gaming rig. Because I got a GeForce GTX 560 Ti superclocked. But you guys may now here's the thing. Here we go. A lot of these for the recommended system requirements are probably geared towards people who are going to run like 1280 by 1024 or higher resolutions. So a lot of times people, when they play PC games, they want to run the highest resolution, which is good, but you don't have to. I play, like I tell you guys all the time, I play all my PC games at 720p, and I'm happy. I mean, I don't know. You don't have to play at the highest resolution. So if you see yourself not on this list, you still may be able to run Battlefield 3, just not at the 1600 by blah, blah, blah resolution with everything enabled, you know. And if you saw the console graphics, right? If the consoles can run Battlefield 3 looking like that, I'm pretty sure you can run it on your PC at a lower resolution and look comparable to consoles if you get a decent computer. Yeah. So check it out. Battlefield 3. Okay, Warco, an FPS with the camera. Holy stories. Got a lot more left. FPS with a camera. So, here's an FPS where you hold a camera instead of a gun. Where have I heard this idea before? It looks like a war game where you're taking footage. This is pretty cool. So, finding the meat of the game itself, which is actually short for War Correspondent, follows the story of a journalist, Jesse DeMarco. Players will experience the process of filming conflicts, going to the dangerous situations armed with nothing but a camera. Very cool. That's cool. This is a good change from the games that are out there. Warco, War Correspondent. Check it out, guys. Thanks for that, Tech Niffin. Bethesda barred from barring Fallout. That's a lot of B's. Bethesda barring from barring. Bethesda from Harrison Daly. Barred from barring Fallout MMO. The great and terrible final battle between Bethesda and Interplay regarding the latter's right to create an MMO based on the Fallout license. They part sold to the former, blah, 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 blah. And apparently, let's see. Bethesda's recent request for a restraining order against them has been denied. His main reason for doing so was that Bethesda took their sweet time in requesting the restraining order. Wow. Which rather undermines their claims that it's a crisis situation from them. So the judge is saying, well, if it's such a crisis, you sure took a long time. I like this guy. As I understand it, this certainly doesn't mean that Interplay has won, but just that Bethesda's latest attempt to block the MMO has failed. And now they need to find another angle of attack. So it's just another page in this already long drama. Long drama. Thanks for the link, Harrison Daly. Now we're going to move on to Hypnomatic. Related to the Tetris and Minecraft story, I know not really news of its own. I don't know if I can watch this. Stop motion Pokemon. Somebody did a stop motion Pokemon. Let me... Oh, this is a Minecraft? No way. No way. Wow. That's all in Minecraft? Whoa. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thanks for the link, Hypnomatic. These guys... He has a proof link, too, for those of us who don't believe it. Okay. Here's a story from Nicholas. What the Mass Effect movie won't have in it. Legendary Pictures answers Mass Effect's movie questions. Film will be a completely new story. Yeah, I saw this story earlier that the Mass Effect movie is pretty much not going to mimic the video game story at all, making everybody upset. The Mass Effect movie will be a completely new story as opposed to an adaptation of the first 3 games. It is undecided whether the trilogy of movies will be made. Will feature a male Shepard, and he will, as expected, be the character the film is focused on. Seth Green will not be playing Joker, which doesn't make sense. When asked how the film would include Mass Effect's signature branching path, the studio conjured up an unbelievable pearl of nonsense. A movie narrative is different than gameplay. There won't be a choice aspect of the film, just a film narrative. Why would you ask that? Is it gonna be a choose your own adventure movie? Can I select the choices that the movie makes? That will be called Mass Effect the game. We're working closely with BioWare on development of this project. All right, so yeah, there's gonna be a lot of disappointed Mass Effect fans because the movie's just not going to mimic the game at all. And let's see here. Refresh, and I do believe that is all of our stories. And guess what time is it, y'all? What time is it? No, it's not 9:10 p.m. It's title time. That title time. When you guys come up with these titles that I'm supposed to be recording and stuff so that we can get our title time on, let's hear them. You guys come up with witty titles based on the stories that we talked about today. Let's see them. Let's hear them. All right. Fish Twist starts it off. Valve plans to go Plan B for Dota 2. Ban me again, old Microsoft. Beat George jumping in. There's no place like Homefront 2. Bears beats Battlefield 3 beta. That's a lot of B's. Everything Old Republic is new again. Better read your terms of service for 8 gigabytes of rage. Bwana Nation rages as Blizzard, Riot, Valve, and EA alter the deal. Sony clears drive space for rage. Racial specs, we got them. We got them in Skyrim. Title, that other shooter's release date. Suing is for noobs. ID consoles, the console noobs. ID brings the GB to PS3. Stuff, more stuff, and more stuff. Sony doesn't rage quit on ID. I has an idea. 8 gigabytes of rage instead of 22 gigabytes. Eyebrows to the sky. NVIDIA we trust for BN3 drivers. Lucy, I'm Homefront 2. Fish Twit's back, everybody. This is the King's Dominion, and I advise you to make way. All is not quiet in the Homefront sequel. Deadly Eyebrows in Skyrealm. Change of Toss. Oh, really, Origin? Title, oh. You can't pause this. Valve equals big dummy. Non-MMO pauses like an MMO. You better test this. Beta test this. One does not simply quap into Toss. I bought MOH and all I got was 2 extra days. Wow, lots of titles. Why you no pause? EA signs away our souls. Crisis on the Homefront 2. Crytek's way. Mommy, can I get Modern Battlefield 6? Homefront sequel could be terrific. Captain Timo on Dominion. What? Oh boy. Guns. Who needs guns? I have a camera. Oh, I like that one. Alright, let's start picking them. You want to pause? Not this time, kiddo. Alright, let's start picking some of these here. Woo! Lots of titles tonight, guys. Great job. Great job. I like it when you guys make it difficult for me to pick a title. All of these great ideas, man. Let's see. I'm gonna do 3, but I'm trying to find. Alright, I got 2. Man, it's so hard. Alright, I got 2. I'm waiting for this third one. I'm gonna do 4. I can't decide. We're gonna do 4. I can't decide. I'm sorry, guys. I see two good ones. I can't decide which ones to take, so I'm gonna do 4. All right. You ready? We got 4. Here we go. Vote for that title. Ten more seconds. Two is non-MMO pauses like an MMO. And I think we're about to get the results here. Poll stopped. Looks like number 1 has won. Guns? Who needs guns? I have a camera. Congratulations to... Who said that? I don't even remember who said that. That was This Effect 916. This Effect 916. Congratulations, you have won Title Time. Well, you win absolutely nothing. Nothing but bragging rights until next week. where you can go and tell your friends that, hey, I went to Game Chat with Bwana. I dropped the title in the chat room and I won. I won for the whole entire week. Title time winner. Congratulations there, buddy. Congratulations, buddy. And that concludes Game Chat with Bwana episode something or another 31, where we discuss gaming news. Yep, I want to thank everybody for coming by. We do this every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern every Monday night. We talk about the latest gaming news. I want to thank everybody for coming by. Thanks for following me. Twitch.tv/Bwana. You can also come to live.bwana.tv. Same stuff. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Bwana, or twitter.com/Bwana Live if you want to be notified on Twitter when I go live. We play video games here too, guys. We don't just do podcasts. I play lots of Minecraft and stuff. Been playing Battlefield. I haven't played Bad Company in a while. Played some Red Orchestra 2 this past weekend. What else did I play? Not much else. Played a lot of Minecraft this weekend. You guys can come by. We're going to be playing Battlefield, that's for sure. Lots of Battlefield coming in. And thanks for coming by. I'm trying to think of something else that I'm forgetting. We do it every Monday night. What about YouTube? YouTube.com/IOBuffer. IOBuffer. Also, guys, I want to introduce a new premium package that we're going to be releasing. We already released. You guys know I've been taking donations since forever. And I appreciate the people who've done it. I even did an appreciation video a while ago. So I finally put together a premium donation package. So if you donate $5 a month, you get a whole bunch of perks. Completely optional. If you don't donate, you're not going to lose anything. But if you go to Bwana.tv/donate, Bwana.tv/donate, here's a quick picture that the only carrot put together. He threw together this image. It's quite the Vegas. But basically, you become a Minecraft VIP on the servers. You can do a custom title. You get various commands. You can put on hats. You get teleport commands, stuff like that on Madness. You also, on a forum, you get a special premium supporter badge under your name. You can change your title. A bunch of stuff coming. We're going to give you some reserve slots in TF2 once we get the server configured right, and some more features there. Also, we're going to, once Twitch.tv activates my subscriber option here, you won't get advertising on my Twitch TV stream, which would be very cool. So that's completely optional, $5 a month. Head over to Bwana.tv/donate for that right there. Just an optional thing. And it's a way of showing appreciation for donators. Because in the past, I really didn't give you guys anything for donating. So this is a way to reward people for donating. All right. That concludes Game Chat Bwana episode 31. And again, guys, thanks for coming. And we will definitely see you all next week. Same time, same place. You guys know where to find me. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Cut. Hopefully that cut correctly.